All right, another feature that all great delays should have is the duck. And I don't mean quack quack. I mean the ability to use a duck compressor to tame the delay whenever it doesn't need to be so outlandish. All right, let me show you what's going on here. I've got a delay, and it's set pretty nuts, and I got it a little wetter than I normally would, just to kind of show off, to focus on the problem here. Take a listen. This is a synth thing, kind of a dance deal. I've got so much delay on it that it starts to sound like a bunch of turkeys, like a turkey orgy. Check it out. So all those repeats are looping back on top of each other, and you end up with this kind of this mess. And I like it a little bit, but it just seems like it's maybe a hair too much. Well, the way ducking works is in the Boss Super Delay, we turn it on, and we look at our advanced controls. It's basically just a compressor. It's reacting to the dry signal coming into the delay in the first place. Whenever signal is being played, the delay will compress some, it'll tame the volume, and then when there's no signal coming in, it can let go, and those repeats can keep on going then. Let me show you. It's very easy. It's just attack, release, release, and ratio, just like a standard compressor. All right, so all right, we'll turn the threshold up to 0, so it won't be doing anything, and I'll slowly engage it. You'll be able to see the red line over here is the reduction meter. Now, this particular piece of music, which might be a little bit of a stretch, you can see it's kind of busy. There's not a lot of free space in there. We got a little section right here, which is what, a beat, and another one here, which is not a lot of room to leave space for this delay to shoot through. But I think the concept is pretty clear here, even on a busy passage. So what's going to happen is with extreme settings like this, right when we have no notes playing, you're going to hear them fly up because I'm really compressing this thing. And when it lets go, those delayed notes just fly up. Well, that won't happen with more tame ducking settings. But let me show you. And actually, that can be another creative tool right there, is using the duck to leap in and do some really wild stuff, particularly if you're using extreme feedback. Hint, hint, one of my favorite tricks. And we've got a whole other video about using extreme feedback with this thing, which I think this delay is by far the best I've ever encountered for using extreme feedback. But that's another story, and more for you fried individuals. Not everybody's insane enough for that. But okay, but using more subtle settings, this knob here, as we can see in the blue, in the bottom left of the corner, duck compressor threshold. So we're going to turn that up to basically bypass the thing at first, and we'll just slowly engage it. What I want you to hear is how, listen to the turkeys, where it's just a big mess on top of each other. And then as we're just knock off, say 2 or 3 decibels, pay attention to how the original dry signal gets a little more clear. We still have the delays bouncing around and creating a certain excitement, but in this particular case, it's more ideal, less insane. Let's check it out. And what we can do is increase the release so that those little gaps are actually being filled. I just told you that the gaps are awesome for extreme stuff. Well, let's assume we want to actually listen to our parents on this one. I don't need you, Dad. And we'll crank up the release to something more like, we'll say 200 milliseconds. We'll go very conservative here. So we're going to find those gaps don't leap out, and instead we just have a smooth, controlled delay. Well, we still had one jump out. Let's go up to 500 milliseconds. And with this extreme setting, then, we probably want to back off on the threshold just a little bit, because we're using such a long release. We don't gain as much from the ducking. And the big thing with this duck deal, we have so many features in the Super Delay that are really just for people that are out of their minds. It's supposed to be over the top and crazy, and kind of take us to new creative places. Well, This is kind of a step in the other direction, is when we want to actually tame the delay and fit into some sort of modern paradigm of rules, we can. And again, this is just a reflection of the philosophy that went into this thing. The super delay is designed to be the delay to end all delays. It should be able to do crazy stuff. It should be able to do quote unquote normal stuff. So play around with the duck control, particularly if you run into a passage where vocals are getting kind of buried and washed out by excessive bounces from the delay. Tame those just a little bit. Let those ring out when the delay or when the vocal stops. Out.